You with the one and only boxing guru. For this episode on Under the Microscope, we're going to recap the Vergil Ortiz knockout of Maurice Hooker. I went out on the limb yesterday and predicted that Maurice Hooker was going to survive. I thought him and Bo Mack, the trainer of Bud Crawford, would come up with a basic boxing plan that would make Maurice effective with his height and with his boxing skills level. But it showed me they didn't do nothing different. Seemed like Maurice Hooker came in as the typical fighter that he is. He's a tall fighter who stands in the line of fire. What that means is, as he's being tall, he'll shoot his jab and then come in with a right hand. So when the shorter fighter returns fire with him, that nullifies his height and range in his long arms. So he always get countered with those type of punches. And typically he's in there with a bigger puncher than he is, because he only have like 18 knockouts out of 30-some fights. So he's not a big puncher. So typically when a fighter picks Maurice Hooker, they already know it's a chance for him to get countered and knocked out. So I was very disappointed. It made me, not me look bad, it made Bo Mack and Maurice Hooker look bad to be professional boxers on a high level and don't understand angles, don't understand that Vergil Ortiz is just a robotic, systematic type of puncher. He likes to walk you in, try to bull you down. So Maurice Hooker was supposed to be on his back foot, feinting with his jab to get Ortiz to counter, and then Maurice can hook, the check hook, the counter, and slide out. Maurice was doing it, some parts of the fight, but he needed to do it more, and that's why he would have survived. And that would have showed me that Bo Mack is an excellent trainer and Maurice Hooker has the right game plan. That's why I don't like to bet on boxing, because fights like this, it wasn't that Vergil Ortiz is all that they trying to make him out to be over at Golden Boy in the Zone. He's nowhere near ready for Bud Crawford or Earl Spence. Nowhere near those guys. Mikey Garcia probably beating him up over there at the Garcia training camp, because he's being trained by, I think, Robert Garcia, but he's over there. So he's nowhere near on that level. Yeah, he don't fight anybody. He's too systematic and robotic. So it made Maurice Hooker and Bo Mack, like I said, they should have had the right game plan. As a tall fighter, a lot of fighters has to realize they already know you're going to try to establish your jab as a tall fighter. So they ready to counter you with right hands to go over top of that. That's why you give them feints. You don't shoot your jab. You act like you're going to shoot the jab, then you lead with the right hand, then come back with the hook. It's typical little things like that. You can offset a fighter who's trying to counter your jab. And I didn't see that a lot because, like I said, Maurice Hooker always stays on the line of fire. And whenever he loses, he's right there on the line of fire, taking a bunch of punches, unnecessary punches that he don't need to take. So definitely, Maurice Hooker definitely needs to rethink his career, rethink boxing, and the different training mechanism. He needs to go back and understand what he's doing wrong. Because like I said, him standing on the line of fire, because he made this a Mexican brawl and it shouldn't have been. He should have been wise enough, understanding enough for him to be on the back foot, doing his best impersonation of Sugar Ray Leonard. His best impersonation of Sugar Ray Leonard, where he's moving around that ring, giving angles, understanding that this young guy, I need to push him to the limit, to the end of the fight, and then maybe I can clip him or run him into something. Because Maurice touched him a few times with hooks, check hooks, and different things. But the game plan nullified Maurice from being effective. And like I said, I hate to put my words out here, but I definitely had to do it in this fight because it was so obvious. Even Vegas and the whole boxing community had Vergil Ortiz knocking out Maurice Hooker. Everybody, it was planned, it was predicted, it was obvious. But like I said, with smart boxing and understanding the art of boxing, you could nullify that. And it showed me that Bomac and Maurice Hooker definitely has to go back to the drawing board and work on the basic fundamentals of boxing. Angles, hooks, fighting off the back foot, not always trying to land your jab. That's the first thing a big man has to realize. Your jab could be a counter strike to get you out of danger. It don't have to be a leading strike. It can be a counter strike. Until Maurice and Vergil learn that, not Vergil, but Bomac learned that, they will have problems against the up and coming strong punchers. These are the words for the one and only boxing guru. Vergil Ortiz needs a bunch of work against the top echelon fighters, because with that robotic system, he will not beat them.